This is Chicago's very own WGN Evening News at 4.
Well, daylight saving time ends this weekend. That means we fall back an hour on Sunday morning.
Yeah, and joining us now to talk about the impact that this can have on our health is Dr. James Wyatt from Rush Medical College. Doctor, thanks for being with us. We seem to have this conversation every spring and every fall here. Since America is so sleep deprived, I'm thinking, okay, we'll get an extra hour of sleep. That should be a good thing, but talk to me about your thoughts on all of this.
Well, so there's a bunch of thoughts. We're more concerned about these change in the spring where we have to go to bed an hour earlier and wake up an hour earlier, and most people don't end up doing that. So the concern is that during the spring, there are much worse health consequences associated with moving toward daylight saving time. There's about a 24% increase in heart attacks the Monday after that. There's about a 6% increase in fatal car accidents. There's an increase in heart rhythm problems like atrial fibrillation. There's an increase in stroke risk, decreases in athletic performance. So a lot of the things that are associated with the two factors that go wrong in the spring. A lot of people lose an hour of sleep, and it's like 1 hour of jet lag.
Okay, so for people, though, that have little kids at home, I think it's tough at any time in the spring, in the fall, anytime that you have to change the bed patterns or the going to bed patterns, it's difficult. So what advice, what thoughts, ideas would you give to parents of, let's say, toddlers, for example?
Right. The simplest thing to do and the easiest from a brain's 24-hour clock perspective, which we call the circadian system, is to split the 1 hour time switch into two. So on the Friday night, so for example, if you were doing this in the spring, which is the harder direction, you want to try to go to bed a half hour earlier on the Friday night and another half hour earlier on the Saturday night. So you're breaking apart the 1 hour shift in half. And then you want to get up at that new time, get plenty of light exposure in the morning, and that's the signal to the brain of what the new time zone that you're in is, or what the new time position is.
All right, well, we talk a lot about the health impacts. It's definitely harder, right, when we have to go through this, when we lose that hour in the spring. But where we're all at now, what are the health concerns beyond, like maybe people driving and it gets darker earlier and, you know, with vision issues, that's a problem. What other things should we consider about all this?
Well, we're actually more concerned about the light exposure in the morning than we are in the afternoon, because in the afternoon, people have typically been awake more hours in a row and they're more awake and alert. Whereas if it's dark in the morning when somebody's commuting to work or to school, that's an increase of risk. So for example, there's a proposal in Congress for the last couple of years. It's a weird name. They call it the Sunshine Protection Act, as if the sun needs protecting. It's been around for 4.5 billion years. The sun's doing great. We're more concerned about protecting people. So the concern is if they kept daylight saving time year round, then all of a sudden, starting now this weekend and throughout the next couple of months, little kids would be going to school in the dark in the morning and people would be commuting to work in the dark in the morning. And that's a terrible thing for our seasonal mood. It's a bad thing for our circadian systems, increases seasonal depression, increases the risk of accidents. So that's why we in the sleep community are fighting against this move to try to adopt daylight saving time year round.
I was going to say, you know, you're an expert who's studied this. What is your expert opinion? And it sounds like you've kind of made up your mind.
Well, yeah. So the American Academy of Sleep Medicine and the American Medical Association and other societies have endorsed we would prefer that we kept standard time year round. But then when you parse this and really dive into the science, it's even more complicated. So to be for a minute here sort of the Tom Skilling of the sleep world, if you look at within time zones and parse them, those who live more toward the western edge of time zones have an even harder time adapting to these schedules because they have an even later sunset and a later sunrise. So they have kind of a version of the accidents that would happen if we went to daylight saving time year round.
A lot to consider. Right now, I'm just going to stick with being happy about that extra hour of sleep that I'm going to get this weekend. Thank you so much.
Well, and encourage people to do that, to take advantage of that, capitalize on it.
We will. Okay, Dr. Wyatt, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Nice to see you all. Take care.
You too.